J.R. Hendrick Texan Consort. The title of this episode is called The Weeping Scholar Part 2. Telling the story is Jimmy. February 14th, 1994, 3:40 a.m. J.R. wakes up with runny nose, sinus pain, and the sniffles. He turns on the radio, and the Andrew Housemith is on. Just previously, the Senate Small Business Committee has agreed to schedule a Senate floor confirmation vote on Bill Clinton's nomination of Jim Hendrick. I have to say that I highly recommend his nomination. And I think, with exception that maybe a few staunch liberals, he will be confirmed overwhelmingly. Meanwhile, at the ranch, Kyle and Festus are getting ready to take some bulls and goats to the butcher. Jim got in his truck to go tend to a rig in Knoxville, Texas. 5:35 p.m. a.m. J.R. returns early from swimming practice with Charlie Nation. Tomorrow was the day of the big swimming tryout, but unfortunately, J.R. wasn't really feeling all that well today. 6:30 a.m. J.R. is having a bacon, egg, potato, and cheese burrito at the Smead Snack Bar with Charlie Nation and Brent Clark. There was the usual discussion about Jennifer, but other than that, not much substance. 9:35 a.m. In speech class, Professor Diedrich is speaking about communication style and some ideal templates for resumes. At the same time, back at the ranch, the regularly scheduled program is being interrupted for the president to sign a nuclear proliferation treaty. In disgust, Betsy goes upstairs and turns on her record of George Jones and Tammy Wynette. 10:10 a.m. Meanwhile, J.R. is taking a Spanish test down in the foreign language lab to the help of his section leader, Caesar. 10:40 a.m. J.R. exits the foreign language building and is greeted by Brad. I really wish you'd transfer next year, J.R. We graduate next spring, and then we're going off to Odessa University College. It's for me to get my master's in economics, and Karen to get her MSW, Brad said. I told you guys, I belong here. I searched the catalog because my mother wanted me to stay, to come back home. But Odessa University College does not have a public affairs major. My family legacy is here, and I'm not leaving. 12:15 p.m. J.R. is in his room, eating some nachos and listening to the Andrew House show, when House made this pronouncement. Christopher Leach, historian and author of the book The Culture of Narcissism. The Culture of Narcissism died this morning. This little no account historian seems to have the bane of a sad existence. Meanwhile, in the East Room of the White House, President Clinton signs a nuclear non-proliferation treaty with the President of Kazakhstan. Bill seems to be more fascinated with his own foreign policy than he does the domestic welfare of this country. 4:30 p.m. JR had managed to do a few interviews at the Center for Public Affairs, but he had to call Jennifer Bowers to cancel their date. I understand. Are you going to be able to make it to the government test tomorrow? Jennifer asked. I'm taking it at the PASS Center, and I'm skipping geology because I feel so bad. I think it's sinusitis. Aunt Donna is bringing me some chicken and rice. 7 p.m. JR is listening to his government textbook when his Aunt Donna arrives. She presents a huge platter of chicken and rice, and Kevin McDonald puts it in the fridge. I tried telling him to stay in bed and get an excused absence for the next couple of days, Kevin McDonald said. But he said he had a government exam and a presentation. My hope is that he has at least to take Thursday off and rest. He is. Uncle Carl and I ask that you keep an eye on him, Donna said. The 15th and 16th passed quietly. JR was able to make it through his government test and his presentation. He spent most of Thursday, the 17th, in bed. "5 p.m. Eastern. In Philadelphia, Jim is sitting in the living room listening to NRS News. He knows that Norma Sanders has been covering Hillary Clinton's hitting on health care for the past couple of days, and would be joining her in Raleigh, North Carolina tomorrow, before Hillary would depart with Chelsea for the winter, for possibility to go to Norway. Tomorrow, he himself planned to fly to Raleigh, North Carolina. There, he would be meeting with Senator Duncan Faircloth, discussing Saturday evening's Senate confirmation vote. 5:05 p.m. Jerry, his cousin Joe, and Andrew Shelford are having Arby's for dinner in JR's dorm room. The Blake Carter show comes on. When he makes this pronouncement,
Part 1. Police is out.
Stop. Sorry about that. Technical difficulties. Truth of the matter is, you can't believe a thing that the darn Clinton administration says, be it about health care or international policy or, Whitewater. And while Hillary is traveling the country, perhaps even the world, they hate to admit is this administration, that when it comes to Whitewater, the blood is in the water. Mark my words, Webster Hubble is on his way out. Bernie Nussbaum is on his way out. The gig is up. 6:30 p.m. Brad picks up JR to take him to the Bible study now that he's over the flu. 7 p.m. The Bible study is going very well. They look through 1 Samuel chapter 17. 9 p.m. Central. JR, he's back in his dorm room. He opens up his IBM ThinkPad and fires out an email to Ken. Dear Ken, I bet I missed a swimming tryout because I got the croup this week and have been sick for a few days. The UT meet is 1 week from tomorrow. I don't see how I'm going to get back in shape. Major pain. Don't look like I'm going to be in the Athletic Hall of Honor. It doesn't matter because Tech is going to beat the crap out of UT and Odessa University College. 3:30 a.m. Jim wakes up in a mansion in Philadelphia. Today he would be flying to Raleigh, North Carolina, where he would be joined by Jack and Lucy Robertson, as well as Scotty Underwood. Underwood's wife, Michelle, had just served him with divorce papers 9 days ago and was being represented by major divorce lawyer Trevor Stevens. Stevens was licensed to practice in Illinois and Virginia. Trevor Stevens himself is a 3-time divorcee. 4:15 a.m. Jay wakes up in his dorm room and puts on his headphones and listens to the Blake Carter Minute, which is on. I'm actually known in my neighborhood in Dallas among Italians as Joey P. We're actually heard from Italians in my neighborhood in Dallas is Joey P. is getting married to model Nancy Shepard today. I have to say that that's a better match than what we got with Bill recalcitrant in the White House. Hillary is leaving for Norway tomorrow, and Lord knows what Bill's up to in the White House, all by himself, even though he is embroiled in the Whitewater scandal. 5:20 a.m. Eastern. Jim climbs on his Cessna. It's a 5-seater plane, and so far, the only ones on Jim's plane is Jim and Rod and co-pilot Mike. Jack and Lucy Robertson would be joining them for Saturday morning's flight to Washington, D.C. 5 a.m. Central. JR is at swimming practice with Brent Clark. I'm sorry, JR. You missed the swimming tryouts. Coach already picked Richard Trujillo, Brent said. I couldn't have made it, JR said. JR, you still look like death-worn Dola. Well, Mama called. She's making